Ladies and gentlemen, there was a time when freedom didn't come with Wi-Fi apps or a monthly subscription. It came on 4 wheels, smelled faintly of gasoline, and had curtains instead of privacy settings. The 1969 Chevrolet Sportsvan 108 camp wagon is exactly that kind of machine. It's not just a camper, it's a rolling declaration that adventure doesn't need permission. I believe this van represents a moment when Americans decided the road wasn't just for getting somewhere. It was the destination itself. And before we go any further, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because here we celebrate machines that have more personality than most modern cars and definitely more character than my neighbor's electric scooter. Now, let's rewind to 1969. The United States was deep into a cultural shift, counterculture, road trips, national parks, and the idea that maybe living simply wasn't such a bad thing. Chevrolet, under General Motors, had already introduced the second-generation G-Series vans in 1967, moving away from the risky cab-over layout toward a safer front-engine design. This change wasn't just engineering, it was survival. People wanted comfort, safety, and space, not the feeling that their knees were the front bumper. The Sportsvan, about 3 meters, was the compact option perfect for conversions. And that's where the camp wagon came in. Not always factory-built, often converted by specialists, like Sportsvan custom campers. It targeted families, dreamers, and yes, people like my friend Timmy, who once said, "If it has wheels and a bed, I'm moving in." He tried that once, didn't end well, long story. Production numbers for the exact camper versions are fuzzy, but over 200,000 G-Series vans rolled out in 1969 alone. Today, only a small number of camp wagons survive, usually in the hands of collectors or people who understand that rust is not just a problem. It's a lifestyle. Technically, this van marked a turning point. Under the hood, you'd most commonly find a 4 liters pushing out around 155 horsepower, or 116 kilowatts. Not bad for something shaped like a moving apartment. The engine sat up front, longitudinally mounted, sending power to the rear wheels through either a 3-speed manual or a 2-speed Powerglide automatic. Simple, durable, and forgiving, unlike my neighbor Bob, who still thinks carburetors are government surveillance devices. Suspension was independent at the front with coil springs and control arms, while the rear used a solid axle with leaf springs. It wasn't luxury, but it worked. Brakes were drum on all 4 corners, which meant stopping required planning, patience, and maybe a little faith. Dimensionally, the van stretched about long 5 meters, with a width about 2 meters, and a height or 2 meters. Curb weight ranged from 3,200 to 3,800 pounds, around 1,450 to 1,720 kilograms, depending on how much camping you stuffed inside. Fuel economy, let's just say it wasn't invited to modern conversations. Expect around 12 to 16 miles per G-Allen, or roughly 14 to 20 liters per 100 kilometers. But I think what I liked the most is that nobody cared. You didn't buy this van to save fuel, you bought it to spend time. And inside, that's where the magic happened. Foldable seats turned into beds. Cabinets held everything from food to questionable life decisions. And water tanks made it possible to live off-grid, at least until Timmy tried to upgrade, won and flooded half the campsite. When we examine the design philosophy of the 1969 Chevrolet Sportsvan 108 camp wagon, we are essentially looking at a machine that abandoned compromise and embraced balance. The shift to a front-engine layout was not merely technical, it was philosophical. Chevrolet moved away from the cramped, forward control experience and gave drivers a more familiar car-like environment. I believe this change made the van feel less like a tool and more like a companion on the road. The relatively short 743mm wheelbase contributed to maneuverability, while the wider stance 2007mm provided stability that earlier vans struggled to achieve. Inside, the camp wagon conversion focused on intelligent use of space. Foldable seating, compact cabinetry, and integrated storage transformed a modest cargo area into a livable environment. Timmy once tried to replicate that idea in his garage, but all he managed was a chair that folded permanently. Compared to its contemporaries, including Ford's Econoline and Dodge's A-Series vans, the Sportsvan 108 occupied a middle ground. It was neither the most radical nor the most conservative. Ford continued refining its forward control layout for a time, while Dodge emphasized simplicity and durability. Chevrolet, however, chose evolution over stubbornness. The result was a platform that appealed to both commercial users and the growing recreational market. I think what I liked the most is how it didn't try to dominate. It adapted. Bob, my neighbor, insists this was part of a secret government plan to make vans friendlier, which is ironic coming from a man who distrusts automatic doors. By the late 1960s, the camp wagon had become part of a broader cultural movement. Vans were no longer just vehicles, they were statements of independence, archival material from enthusiast clubs, and period publications reveals that owners valued not only reliability but also the freedom to personalize. Some vans featured elaborate interiors, others carried minimal setups for long-distance travel. One widely cited story tells of a sports van completing repeated journeys along Route 66 with minimal mechanical intervention, something that reinforced Chevrolet's reputation for durability. Timmy heard that story once and immediately claimed he could drive coast to coast without stopping. He lasted 3 hours and a sandwich. Before we turn to pricing, it is worth acknowledging the quiet achievement of this vehicle. The Sportsvan 108 camp wagon did not revolutionize the market overnight, but it refined it. It offered a where-say-care bridge between work and leisure, between necessity and aspiration. It was honest in its engineering and adaptable in its purpose. In many ways, it represents a moment when practicality and imagination finally agreed to cooperate. Now let's talk about price. In 1969, a Chevrolet Sportsvan 108 typically cost between $2,500 and $3,000, which today equates to approximately $21,000 to $26,000 or 19,000 euros to 24,000 euros. Camper conversions added additional cost, depending on equipment and complexity. In today's collector market, restored examples generally range from $20,000 to $45,000 or about 18,000 euros to 41,000 euros. Exceptional vehicles occasionally exceed these figures at auctions, such as Meckham or Barrett-Jackson, reflecting growing interest among collectors. Ownership today requires commitment, parts, sourcing, maintenance, and patience. But that is part of the appeal. Bob calls it mechanical nostalgia, though he still refuses to sit inside one because he believes the radio can hear him thinking. We thank all supporters of our channel, those who understand that preserving history sometimes requires a little humor and a lot of enthusiasm. And to everyone watching, here's a simple wish. May your journeys be long, your fuel tanks full, and your neighbors slightly less strange than ours.